This is for the culture.
What's up, everybody? It's Dr. CI, and I'm back in the building. Now, I always start with talking to y'all about welcome to For the Culture. Yay! Woo! Throw glitter. I don't really know why I did that, whatever. Now, welcome to For the Culture. If you've never seen an episode of For the Culture, let me break it down for you what I do and why this show exists. So we decided, me and my production team, who you can't see, to create a topic called For the Culture, where I sit down and talk about everyday instances, current events, etc., that impact our community. And I mean marginalized, underrepresented communities, the Black community especially, and give you some ideas. And so what the ideas about how to solve the problem. So the first thing that I do is state the main thing, which is what is the main concept. The second thing that I do after I state the main thing is I talk about the problem. And then the next thing are the facts, what it is that we know for sure, right? And then the last thing I do is I give you solutions, and I try to do it all in, under 10 minutes, but we see how that goes depending on the topic and how lengthy it gets. Also, Diverse City, if you're wondering what that is my company. So go check it out. You can find us at diversityllc.com. We do diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting, and we talk about different topics like this all the time, and we go in and help companies solve them. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the first thing. What is the main thing of this topic? Or of this episode? Sorry, y'all. Whatever. Let me stop apologizing. Side note, women, stop apologizing if and when you make a simple mistake. The world makes us believe that we need to show up and always be apologetic. Doesn't always do the same thing for masculine identity. So to my femme identities, stop fucking apologizing all the time. Because, we get it. Just stop making yourself look so vulnerable in spaces, especially where you don't need to always apologize for some shit that you didn't really do wrong. The world just makes you think that it's wrong because it's you. All right. Now back to the topic. The main thing is, how do I say this nicely? To hell with your Black Lives Matter statements in your company, your diversity statements, your statements where you show up and say, we want to support the Black community. I'm telling y'all to hell with that. You want to know why? Because here's the problem with creating Black Lives Matter support statements and diversity, equity, and inclusion statements or whatever. Most companies don't make a statement until a diverse person shows up and makes a statement about the way that they have suffered in your company. Your diversity statements and Black Lives Matter statements don't show up often until we make a statement. And the statement is usually a result of pain, right? It's usually a result of our struggle, of our pain that your company has usually created based on different policies. And you'll make a statement that says, okay, let's start with the facts before I go into a tangent. The fact is that the Black Lives Matter movement really, really took off in 2020. Awareness was heightened. But why did that happen? Because a statement especially was made by a Black man named George Floyd, as he had a white man hovering over him with his knee on his back for damn near 9 minutes as he died right there in the street. He suffocated, right? That statement was made. That statement was seen. Even though Black Lives Matter have been talking about shit like that for a really long time. But when people saw that, the world started to make more statements. Great, we get the intention, but now let's talk about your impact, because we over your great intentions, because your great intentions often harm us because they're done with the idea that you're going to help us be more like you instead of helping us remain who we are and understand our identity and our ancestors and where we come from. If you really want to help us, don't make us like you, help us be who we actually are. But I digress. So that's a fact, right? That's a fact right now about the fact that many companies started to write BLM statements. You want to know how I know? Because I write them for companies. And I always tell my clients, make the statement before you write the statement. How do we know that you're going to change? All right. And that is a fact. Make the statement means more than writing the statement first. You get it? Now I said first, which means show me your plan. Show me your strategy. Show me what the expected outcomes are. Show me the long-term sustainability of the resources that you are going to invest in our communities. in your company in order to help us become a part of your company and create some cultural addition instead of trying to be a cultural fit within your company. That's why I'm saying to hell with your BLM and diversity statements, because we just don't need you to write a statement. We need you to make it. And we tired of being the victims of the reason why the statements are created in the first place. Y'all get that? Do y'all get that? Now, if you didn't understand the problem here is that you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk, right? So you might say, oh, our company supports diversity, equity, and inclusion. We support the Black Lives Matter movement. We want to really show up. But how? When? Why? What you gonna change? And what you gonna sacrifice? Right? Because your diversity statement came because we was being sacrificed. So we want to see what it is your company's going to sacrifice. And we usually hoping that it's your white supremacist policies. That is your practices. Sacrifice those. Stop underpaying us. Stop undervaluing us. Stop underappreciating us in your companies. Now, how do you do that? What is the solution? Because I know I'm getting at y'all and y'all deserve it. But what is the actual solution, or what are some of these solutions? The first is, when you invest in Black communities, you need to do it with people who are in the community, who are community focused, whether they entrepreneurs, whether they politicians, whether they business owners, whether they volunteers, educators. All of those areas require funding. They require investment. So investment is not just about giving us money, but it's also about giving us time and access to more resources so that we can make sure that the investments that are being made are sustainable and generate cultural wealth for us, right? So that means you need to think about all the components, for example, where communities are being over-policed and under-resourced. I'm over here spitting, y'all. I'm passionate about this, but I digress. I'm going back. I'm also thinking about the fact that you need to talk about rent control and livable wages. We done with minimum wage, right? We tired, especially Black community is tired of being your minimum. We want livable wages to build comfortable, livable lives. And when you create livable wages, you know, I want you to do it on a scale that considers the amount of people that you have or one has in their family, the cost of living in a particular area. So it's not just about, well, how much is rent? It's like, no, how much does it cost to feed a family of 4? How much does it cost if you single? It's the same way that you take taxes out of our checks are the same way that, for example, you create the livable wage instead of a minimum wage for people to exist, especially in our communities. Because when you increase our generational wealth, you increase our community health. You understand? So it's baby steps. So let's start first with the livable wage. Let's talk about how companies can create social partnership programs for the things that matter in our communities. Well, and there are lots of things that matter in our community. It could be STEM. It could be hip hop. It could be art. It could be culture. We need you to invest in all of those things and to do long-term investments, because you got to understand we figuring it out just like you figuring it out. So you got to be able to invest over time. I'm talking about 10 to 20 years, decades worth of understanding what it's going to cost to invest in a community in order to start to turn some things around, right? Those are the kind of solutions that we need in our community for the culture, for our culture, in order for us to build our generational wealth in our families. And that's just a couple of things. But talk to me in the comments about what it is that you need in your communities. What should be a part of the plan? We don't want to see any more statements. How do we help companies make a statement? What is it that they should truly be focusing on? Don't hold back, no filter. And also, don't forget to look in the description and check out Diverse City. You'll see our company webpage. You'll see our shop. Make sure that you support so we can continue to bring you more content like this for the culture. I'm Dr. CI. I love and appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day.